find out my manager, my direct supervisor is going to be a minority, babe, keep that DEI hire and keep that job offer too. I prefer to work under white men, okay? White, middle-aged, men with a family, AARP eligible, the ones that got the AAA, the ones that eat off the IHOP 55 plus menu, you know what I mean? The Medicare eligible ones, give me that. Give me that. Because as far as I'm concerned, the minorities, they like to make you pay back the dues that they had to pay in 1987 when they first got their job as the model minority. And they want to make sure that you have to do it too. Meanwhile, white man, he sees me, he goes, yep, let me give you this special project. What do you need? What's going to advance your career? How can I help you? None of the passive aggressiveness, none of the micromanaging, none of that extra shit, right? Give me Jim, Bob, Bill, give me that. Don't give me the minority, because as far as I'm concerned, anybody that looks like me or identifies as somebody who would be a DEI hire, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not with it. I'm not with it. Y'all got a chip on y'all shoulder that I personally do not have the brain power to deal with. So as far as I'm concerned, hand me to the nearest white man. Thank you.
All right, so we got here's a black woman that says that she'd rather have a white middle-aged boss, and that minorities, she ain't too fond of minorities. Now, I've seen where, I've seen black women on this very app say that they don't like to have black female bosses. I understand that. But as far as, having other, and then she kind of specified people that look like her. She said that, black run places, that's ran by black people, yeah, it tend to be dysfunctional. A lot of them tend to be dysfunctional, so, but in general, I'm just trying to think. I just think you just need a good boss. I done had good black supervisors. I had good white supervisors. So I really never had too many issues with women. Like, some of the issues may be kind of like them bending the rules or something like that. As far as them being superiors, I just do my job. So I really don't have an issue. I just do my job. So usually, I do my job. I ain't here to complain. If I need something done, so I really don't have those issues. I don't get caught up in the emotional side of the job. When you're younger, you get caught up in the emotional side of the job. I don't get caught up in it no more. And if I'm gonna complain to the point where I don't want to be there no more, it's just not the job for me. Usually, you may have those days where you just, you just tired. You know what I'm saying? But usually when you work through them days, like, you glad you work through them, because you go to another place of employment, it'd be the same. It'd be the same thing. I done seen bosses come in who have a terrible reputation, and I got along just fine with them. You know what I'm saying? I got along just fine with them. Like, I had one situation. This guy, his name was John. I used to work at the sandwich shop in college and shit. And he didn't like me, right? And but he had no choices. I was a good worker. But what's so funny about it, all the other ladies that were everybody else there was pretty much a boss. One guy, he was a manager. He got caught stealing fire. Yeah, he was black. Had a black supervisor. She was like super duper cool with me. Had two white ladies that were supervisors. They were really, really cool. And they all gave me like employee of the month, but he didn't want to give it to me because he didn't like me. And one of the ladies told me, yeah, we gave you employee of the month. He just doesn't want to give it to you. So I didn't hold it against him, you know what I'm saying, at all. But he knew, like, in private, he would admit that I was a great worker. So I like I said, I wouldn't even say he was a bad boss. Like, I wouldn't even say he just didn't really care for me. And I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? He respected me as a worker. He didn't like me as a person. So, like, when I think about it, like, I just never was a problem. Like, I would communicate. If I couldn't, this particular job, I swear to God, once I had a situation where I couldn't make it, they sent somebody to come get me, dog. My friend was cracking the hell. I was like, yeah, I can't make it today because I ain't got no way there. They was like, don't worry, we're gonna send Neil to come get you. He came and scooped me. I had to figure out how to get back to the crib though, but they came and got that shit was wild. But yeah, to me, really, like color make really, I can't really differentiate the color. Now, I get what she's saying. I've had my superiors who they black and they kind of talk shit behind your back and then kind of act like you cool, but that can come from any type of ethnic background. You kind of see, it can come from anybody. Um, I'm just trying to think through my Rolodex. I usually just tend to do my job and go home, bro. I just tend to do my job and go home. Just thinking. You know, I had a department when I worked at GM. It was just dysfunctional, right? It was dysfunctional. It was dysfunctional under the white supervisor. It was dysfunctional under the black supervisor. It was dysfunctional under a black female supervisor. Um, you know, and I think it was just dysfunctional under whoever we had. So, like I said, it didn't matter. But you know, for the most part, like I can't really say I had bad relationships with black bosses, whether they females or they male. Like for her to how to make that general statement, that's kind of tough because you can. I mean, I don't look at it that way. You know, when we come to work, you know, do I have some people bosses that may not communicate? Well, yeah, everybody gonna have their flaws and their strengths. Real talk, everybody gonna have their flaws and their strengths. And I think in a society where everything is so sensitive, you know what I'm saying, where you really can't speak to people how you want to speak to people because they'll file a lawsuit or stuff. So you kind of got a lot of superiors walking on eggshells and stuff. But I feel like if you're a good worker, you really don't deal with that. You come on time, you consistent, you do your job. You know what I'm saying? You may bend the rules a little bit, but they let you bend the rules because you do your job. You know what I'm saying? Like you know how to do everything you run, and if people got questions, you don't have an attitude. You know, people, hey, could you grab this for me when you get time, and you don't forget, and you grab it for them, and you do people favors. A lot of times when you get with a lot of people, they just feel like certain things is out their scope of support. Or a lot of people and I'm explaining that comment. A lot of people come to work and they have attitudes and they bring the baggage from the outside world into work, and you have a nasty attitude. But once you come in and it's work, you have a good attitude and you communicate, you nice with people. People ask you to do things that may not be in your scope of support, but you do it. So basically, the scope of support is anything that's in your job description or in your wheelhouse, right? A lot of people tend to say, well, that's not my job, so figure it out. So I had this particular guy come here, and it didn't matter what color he was. He was a brother, right? So he was like, he came to the wrong side. I'm like, yeah, I don't work on that side, but I tell you what, go over there and I'll hook you up. You know what I'm saying? So he went over there. I got him in and out. It was a quick job. He was like, yeah, man, you know, a lot of places I go, you know, most people say it's not their job and I just got to figure it out. He said, I appreciate you for, like I said, I don't like when you have that, when you do those type of things, you know, good come back on you. People see that. But but I'm guaranteed she got the attitude, and there's no disrespect to her. A lot of women have that selfish attitude. Well, that's not my job. I'm not doing that. Like my whole thing is, you know what I'm saying? If I might as well do it. I might as well fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. I'll just get back to doing my job. I'll just do it. Like when they ask for a favor, hey, you don't have to do it, but could you do this? And I do it, and they be like, okay. Just come with a positive. That's how you advance in a company, to be honest with you. So, long story short, in my experience working a whole bunch of jobs, I had like, when you talk about kind of like, I get what she's saying. Like when you get certain people who not used to having power, they abuse it, right? And I've had black bosses where it was kind of like they ran it on the kinfolk. They did run it on the kinfolk or who I'm cool with or who I'm cool with and not cool with. I've seen that. I seen that shit where they running on, oh, that's my man's and all. Yeah, I seen that, but I just do my job. And one thing I kind of hate when working, I've seen this happen before. Like when you see that when they give certain people, you know, privileges that they don't give other people, you know what I'm saying? But you don't really know their story, and people start thinking they deserve that exact privilege. That's my problem. Like I had a situation when I was working in tech where I was like, yeah, you know, can I just do a half of lunch? So cause I gotta get out of here a little early because I had a situation. Like, yeah. So then what happened was you had other people, you know, why is he getting out of here early? And why can't I get out of here early? And I mean, they start complaining about it. I'm like, damn, you know, instead of just asking me why I'm getting out of here early or asking the boss why he allowed me to get out of here early, they start hating it. So it became a thing. That's what I really hate. I kind of hate about a job, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get certain accommodations and people start like being bitter and hating on it. I just hate that. Like when I see people get certain accommodations, I don't hate, I just do my job. So that's all I had to say. Peace.